Dying Light 2 is a game I'm sure many of us are looking forward to, especially been playing Techland's games for a while now like myself, as far back as 10 years ago with the release of Dead Island. I wasn't even 8 at the time. The past 4 years we've gotten really no news regarding Dying Light 2, which I cover periodically on the channel, so if you want to keep up to date with the latest Dying Light 2 news, feel free to subscribe and smack that like button. Don't bother the dislike button, YouTube's making that non-existent at this point. The lacking amount of updates we've received have stirred up much concern in the community, me included, but I do know Techland has a pretty good track record when it comes to producing high quality games, so I do think they'll pull it off, just maybe not in the way everyone is hoping. But the last time I had this much hype for a game, things didn't go so well. There's a damn good amount of opportunities Techland can take advantage of with their second attempt at the zombie parkour genre. And while Dying Light 1 didn't do anything mind-blowing for me at least, they did create a new standard for games of this type. And to me, I hope Dying Light 2 is in the same style of one long choose-your-own-adventure novel. I grew up reading these bombastic books where you could choose the route of where you want to take the story. At the time, I was like, whoa, Batman got beat by the bad dudes? When another direction of the story, you end up beating the villains and saving Robin. When another direction, you beat the villains but Robin is captured. And another route, you see what I'm saying. There's a lot of choices to keep me coming back for more. And it's something that holds a lot of replay value to it, if it's done right. Techland is attempting to take this idea and bring it into the continuation of the Dying Light franchise. Games like the Fallout series have done this to a certain degree, but not in the way Techland is attempting to. They want you to be able to shape the world around your decisions so anyone's game world won't be the same as anyone else's. What I'm worried about is how large of a concept they're trying to take advantage of. To me, it almost feels like they're biting off more than they could actually chew. And I don't have high expectations for this game, even though at times it may seem like it. I haven't fallen in love with the game since I played Resident Evil 2 Remake, and since then my passion for video games has slowly been dying. Recently I picked up Breath of the Wild though, and holy shit, this game is amazing. I forgot what it was like for video games to be fun. Now, don't get me wrong, I still am hyped for Dying Light 2, it's just deep down I'm pretty damn worried. Anyways, let's just move on. Techland, if they follow through with that choose your own adventure format while staying true to the original, there's a lot of possibilities. We know there will be wildlife, many factions, territories to scavenge, and a lot more we don't know of yet. One thing I'm hoping for is more involvement from the side characters and missions. A big gripe I had for the original is that you don't really get the parkour alongside any runners, which play a big part in the story of obtaining and scavenging for the tower. The game treats you as the last runner, and that's fine, but it does leave a lot to be desired. Like, it could be really cool to be in a chase sequence with another runner like yourself, and you have to use the environment around you to take shortcuts and take them down, like we've seen in the gameplay demo where Aiden chases the van. But it looks like Dying Light 2 could definitely be making this possible. Here we see Aiden following or chasing another in-game character, which the fluidity of the individual when jumping and sliding looks really impressive. Hopefully all animations will look this smooth. Another thing I want is more backstory for the main character, which we legit get in the trailer for the game.
When my father saved my life, he told me never to forget who I am, where I come from.
Aiden speaks of his father and that he saved his life, maybe sacrificing himself in the process, which would be actually cool to see play out in the game. If it was brought up in the trailer, then it probably means Aiden's father's had a significant impact on his life, especially when he was told to never forget who he was, where he came from, which may be Haran. One of the screenshots that was released when the game was announced shows it saying Haran City on his leg with an H you can see in other screenshots as well. So chances are he could be from Haran, though that's all the way in Turkey and Dying Light 2 takes place in Europe. Turkey is somewhat connected to Europe, so I don't really know. I'm not too sure how they'll handle it, but I am really curious to see how that'll play out. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Techland needs to give us a reason to care for Aiden and his story. While Kyle Crane was sometimes funny and an interesting guy, you don't really know anything about him. He's just the guy who you see the world through, and that's fine. I just would have liked to know more about Crane besides he was a part of the GRE. I already brought this up in one of my last videos, but I hope to see more variety when it comes to the side quests. There's a lot of interesting locations we've seen, a lot of them being in the concept art that I hope makes it into the final game. Even if the side quests weren't very complicated, it's just like a nice variety with a lot of fun and interesting characters, like Ghazi. Mostly anyone who's played Dying Light surely knows who he and his beautiful mother is because of how odd it was coming across him at first. You almost feel bad for the guy because he's clearly deranged, or just enjoys sending Crane on fetch quests for his dead mother because of how bored he is, I guess. The situation tells a story in itself. So I really do hope we see more interesting characters like Ghazi in Dying Light 2, and I've heard on the official Dying Light Discord that the game will be more dark than the first, but will have funnier moments overall.
Oh, that's very funny. Haha, very funny. funny man.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have a lighthearted tone change every once in a while when necessary. One of my favorite content creators right now is Alana Pierce.
I can't wait to win.
Who's had a background of working for IGN, Gaming Weekly, Funhouse, PlayStation Studios, Santa Monica Studios, and much, much more as a screenwriter, podcaster, voice actor, and yeah, much, much more. She's been in the industry for a while now, so I think she's a great voice to listen to for her opinions about my favorite games and the industry as a whole. In one of her recent videos, she reacted to the Dying Light 2 dev update, and she brought up some great points.
Like this flag. Really simple, but stuff like that should in theory evolve based on which factions you have worked for, which you have given money to, which vendors you're buying from even. It's the idea that like, if you're spending money on one NPC's store, that there should be some in-game sort of, I don't know, visual impact on the fact that that NPC is earning so much money. There are, I feel like Assassin's Creed like sort of originally did that with, you know, how you can upgrade things, but it should be much more organic than that. It wouldn't be you paying to upgrade a store. It would be a funneling of money to a certain organization, changing the way that things look in the game in a way that no other player should really have an identical experience with.
To be able to have an impact on the game world's economy would be great to see. Paying certain vendors and people could cause a small change, like for example, if you don't buy anything at a certain vendor that's been at a safe zone for an amount of time, they'll move to a different safe zone to hope for better business or begin to lower their prices. There's so many opportunities for you as a player to make an impact and make your world differentiate from others even more. Something I hope to return from Dying Light's cut content is more interactable things in the world. At one point during Dying Light's beta, you're able to pull a pipe off the side of a building, which looks pretty damn cool. We do see in the gameplay demo for Dying Light 2 when Aiden falls into the dark zone, he runs and grabs a random weapon in place as he slides under a gated doorway, closing it behind him. I do think more randomness that isn't as convenient as this would be nice, but I'm sure you know what I mean. More random interactable environment opportunities will be nice as well. Like for example, when Aiden takes a shortcut across the railway and it collapses beneath him, or when he runs into this room and the floor collapses. So, more collapsible things. As we know, there will be vehicles in the game as well, but they won't be as significant as they were on the following. The game's world is all cities, so that definitely does hold back the opportunity to be able to drive anywhere you would like as crazy as you could in the following. But it'll be like probably Dead Island, where you could drive on a specific path. Though I'll probably have way more fun jumping from roof to roof to begin with anyways. Hopefully there's a variety of vehicles that drive as well, me personally hoping most for a motorcycle, which would be awesome, and easier to move past all the destroyed vehicles. One thing that I hope is improved on from the first game is the random encounters. The apocalypse can allow for so many crazy opportunities. For example, you could be walking down an alleyway, then all of a sudden you're cornered by bandits who you could negotiate with. Maybe the level of negotiation be locked behind a skill tree like other games, or certain paths you must choose. One route will lead you to having to fight them off, and another route you give them whatever they ask, like a weapon or money. What would be cool is then if later you come across the same group of bandits and kill them off and get back whatever you gave up. Dying Light did a pretty good job with this, but I hope for more expansions and DLC to keep people coming back to the game. Dying Light has such a thriving community due to the amount of updates Techland has brought to the game after launch. Hopefully they'll be able to deliver a finished game as well as multiple new things to the world to keep people being interested. The first game is doing pretty damn strong 6 years later, and I hope to see that support for the second one as well. And this is to the Dying Light community itself. I hope you keep your expectations to a minimal. Cyberpunk 2077 has showed us the disappointing reality of marketing. They can say whatever they want to say and go gold whenever they want to go gold. Anyone will say what they want us to hear, and that's the reality of it. So keep that in mind as we get closer to seeing what this game truly is. I hope Techland becomes more transparent with the community moving forward as we day by day get closer to the release of this game we're looking forward to, and which we hope gets soon. And I hope it's worth the wait. Anyways, my name is Ty, and thanks for listening to what I had to say. Come stop by for whatever topic we covered next time, and thanks as always.